The song goes Ganesha Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha. So we're offering our prayers and respect to Ganesha, the opener. He opens the way to all the other devas. Ganesha Sharanam, Sharanam Ganesha, 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 Sharanam Ganesha,
Now do Ganesh's 108 names. The response mantra for this today being Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Start with the Om and I'll do Jnanam and really quickly myself. I'll do Vinyasa for Ganesh specifically and we'll do the names. Okay, so we'll just start with the Om. Om Karvam Stulatanam Gajendra Varanam Lambodram Sundaram Prasyandam Maraganda Lubha Madhupavya Lolagandashtaram Gandhagata Vidarita Rudire Sindura Shobhakaram Vande Shaile Sutta Sutam Ganapatim Siddhi Pradam Kamadam Om Gam Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Gam Amishvam Namaha. Gim Dijadivam Swaham. Gum Adivabam Vashatum. Gaim Advikvahom. Om Gam Adikishvam Vasharam. Gakritaka Vishwam Zaypat. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Gam Hridaya Namaha. Om Grim Shirase Swaha. Om Gom Shige Vashat. Om Gaim Kavachaya Hom. Om Gam Natadaya Vasharam. Gakritaka Vishwam Zaypat. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Sumukha Stika Dandasya Kapilo Gajakarnaka Dambo Dharasya Vikito Vignanasya Vinayaka Tumra Ketvur Ghana Daksho Parachandro Gajanana Dvada Shaitani Namriya Patet Churnor Yadapi Vidyarambe Vivhecha Parveshi Nigamedata Sambrame Sambhate Cheva Vignata Sarna Jayati Shuklam Baradaram Devam Shashivaram Chaturprajam Prasavaram Jayat Sarvavigno Prashante Abhi Chitradrasidyatam Pujito Yasura Sule Sarvavigna Harastasme Ganadipate Namaha Om Gam Ganapate Namaha Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Om Ganapate Namaha. Om Ganapate Namaha. He who has a beautiful face with only one tooth or tusk of red color with elephant ears with a big belly and a great tooth, he destroys all obstacles. He is the remover of obstacles. With the great band of the living spirit of the multitudes having the moon on his forehead with an elephant face. Whoever will recite or listen to these 12 names at the time of commencing studies, getting married, or upon entering or leaving any place, on a battlefield of war, or in any difficulty will overcome all obstacles. Wearing a white cloth, the god has the color of the moon and the four arms. That most pleasing countenance is meditated upon, who gives peace to all difficulties. For gaining the desired objective, or for the attainment of perfection, he is worshipped by the forces of union and the forces of division alike. He takes away all difficulties, and therefore we bow in reverence to the Lord of multitudes. Om, we bow to the Lord of wisdom, the Lord of multitudes. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Yeah. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Murnistutyaya Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Vinashanaya Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Soma Suryagni Lochanaya Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Shankushadharaya Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Sanaya Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Sarvachitra-bhavikaya Namaha. Om Shivaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye 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 Namaha. Om Nagarajaya Vyopavitavite Namaha. Om Ganapataye 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 Namaha. Hayataya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Bilvapriyaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Sangha Kelano Sukamanasaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Sravanya Surasana Jitamanma Uvigrahaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Jagadhadharaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Krishnaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Sanatmane Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Sarvasiddhi Pradayakaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Sarvasiddhi Pradayakaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye Namaha. Om Sarvasiddhi Pradayakaya Namaha. Om Ganapataye 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 Namaha. Time for a little satsang and a little Shivaratri katha. Can I have that water, please? So I'd like to start off by telling you a little story that I like to tell every year. You know, there's so many stories about Shivaratri, so many stories about its significance. You can't tell them all in one night, so I like to focus on some part during the tradition. But first I want to tell you the story of Freddie and Lamaji. Okay, that's Freddie over there with the flowers, and that's Lamaji over there. So, Freddie lived a life of pure sense enjoyment. He just lived for his own senses. He didn't really care much about anybody. Nobody really cared much about Freddie. He ate his fill. He had no problem even taking food from a beggar if he could get away from it, or get away with it. He did all manner of non-savory acts. You know, he never got married. Probably nobody would marry Freddie because he wasn't a very nice guy. So of course, when he could, he attended one of the brothels, one of the many brothels in Varanasi. There's probably not many of them, but one of the brothels in Varanasi. Not that I know about any of those things. And, you know, he never worshipped in the temple, okay? He never followed the tradition of his parents. He kind of broke his mom's heart when he didn't want to get married. You know, he was kind of from a low caste. He didn't really want to take up that job. He would just, you know, do this here and there just to get by in the world and sleep wherever. And he went through life like that. And, you know, as he started getting older, 60, 65, he started thinking, you start worrying about death, and you start thinking, oh, you know, what if my traditions, you know, what if they are true? What if I probably should do some worship, you know, in India. Actually, a large part of Indians, I find, is that there's certain religious parts of the culture, and I would almost say certain superstitious parts of the culture, you know, like any culture. And so Freddie started to worry that, you know, that if he passed in Kashi, since he lived such a bad life, a life just for his senses, a life just for his enjoyment, but no praise of anything, no seeking the self, no praising the Lord, you know, no any spiritual engagement like that. But he started to worry that maybe he should start observing Shivaratri at least one day a year as he got older before it was too late for him. But you know, every year would come, and he would have no problem drinking the Bhajans-Ganesh. That was a good part of his tradition. But as far as doing any sadhana, any meditation, participating in any bhajans, chanting any mantras, even Om Namah Shivaya, Freddie he lived a life so against the natural flow of things that he couldn't even get himself to say Om Namah Shivaya. He couldn't, the words can't even leave his mouth. Even if he stood by the pundit, he couldn't say Om Namah Shivaya. It was more like, you know, Bhog chahiye, you know, like, please, where's the food? You know? So this went on for some time. You know, just before his 70th year, he said, okay, for sure, this year I'm going to worship Maha Shivaratri. Absolutely, because I know I'm not going to live much longer, and I want to at least do that once, so possibly I can make it to heaven. Well, it so has it that the day before Maha Shivaratri, poor Freddie had a heart attack and died. Okay. And there was no money left, he had no family at that point, nobody really cared about him in Varanasi. If you're in that position, instead of them cremating you, they just chuck you in the Ganga. And then the fish have their way with you, and eat you to the core. Somehow your skull may wash up on the shore at some point, somebody may pick it up and sell it to a medical facility to get some money, if some Goli doesn't find it first. And hence it may wind up on eBay, and then after that time, somebody like me may purchase it. So that is the story of Freddie. Okay? Of course, in the eBay description, it gave this whole story. Now, Lamaji here lived a very different life. From the time he was very young, his parents gave him to the monastery to become a monk. As in that culture, they want at least one of their children, it's their duty to have at least one son become a monk and live a life of purity and live a life for other than their self-interest, for the rest of our interest, just to help us achieve a higher state of happiness and to be able to counsel us when we're caught up in all of the crazy problems that we tend to get caught up in this world. So Mamaji grew up in that tradition. And not only did he grow up in that tradition, not every monk is so serious, and not every monk even leads the greatest of lives, and maybe even acts like a monk. But Mamaji certainly did. And he was always engaged in sadhana, and when he wasn't engaged in sadhana, he was counseling people, and he was joking with people and making them laugh, and helping them to be light about their problems and not be so heavy. And the entire village loved Mamaji. He was always there at every celebration and wholeheartedly giving his all to every celebration. And it made the villagers give their all to the celebration. And just his presence uplifted everyone in the village and made the village an auspicious place to live. And people came and heard about Mamaji for miles and miles around and traveled very far from other villages just to have his blessings and to take his prasad. And of course, Mamaji followed the tradition of Maha Shivaratri every year. He worshipped wholeheartedly. He fasted, not even taking a drop of water, which I used to do, but now that I have to sing all the time, I have to take water and even have a cough drop, which is horrible as far as I'm concerned. And he was so austere, and his austerity led other people to lead more austere and lead more austere lives. No. Unfortunately, Freddie never met Mamaji. Freddie might have even been beyond Mamaji's influence. So when Mamaji, when he was 108, he left the body the morning after Shivaratri. He finished the vrat, he put himself in lotus, he said Om 3 times, and he consciously left the body. Now Mamaji touched people so deeply that they wanted to preserve his skull. Okay? In that tradition, they actually, instead of cremating Mamaji, because the high monks, they don't get cremated, they usually bury them. But in Mamaji's case, he had insisted that, because he knew that this was going to be the case, and there was a Buddhist influence in the town as well, so they let him have a sky burial, which the vultures and eagles come and they eat your body, which is nice because it goes back as food to the earth, but then the bones are left, and they took Mamaji's skull and they preserved it, and they adorned it with silver, and they covered it over because they wanted it to last. Even after he passed, still his influence was in the town. And still, so his skull and some other parts, and his relics, his mala, his asan, his kamandala, his water pot, they were all on display for people because they, just thinking about Mamaji, your problems would just go. So Mamaji also, after some time, some man back in the 60s was in Kathmandu, and after much praying and cajoling, and I think the head priest had some vision that Mamaji was supposed to come to the United States, at least his skull was, the rest of him stayed, and his mala actually was also inside. And that man actually was going to pass, and he passed that Mamaji's, it's called the Kapala, that Mamaji's Kapala to his brother. His brother really didn't have too much of a clue what to do with it. He was a slightly spiritual man, so he listed it on eBay. I also happened to be looking for a Kapala at the time on eBay. I actually found that Kapala, and I went and met him and got him. And that's the story of Mamaji. So I keep those two skulls on my altar, always to remind me of A, what type of life I really want to lead, and lead, and two, that soon I will pass. And that the reason why I can commit to Maha Shivaratri a year beforehand is because I know even if I live to 108, I have very little amount of Shivaratris left to participate in and to observe, along with other holidays and holy days that I observe as well. So I find that it is very hard in this world for most people to commit to things of an auspicious nature. We let ourselves be swayed with all kinds of manner of things. Oh, I don't feel so good. Oh, I have to work tomorrow. Oh, I have to work today. Take a vacation day. Or, I have kids, so I can't perform. When my kids are older, I'll perform the worship. And I'm not faulting anyone for these things. So, we all have to follow whatever our dharma is. But I would say, give it a little deeper thought, because you have to make a little effort. And if you make a little effort, you'll find that what you get out of it is, an incredible amount back. And on Maha Shivaratri, it's not the easiest of vrats. The tradition is that you fast. Okay, traditionally, actually, just like with Judaism and Yom Kippur, you don't even take one drop of water. Okay, if you can't perform that level of fasting, then you just take water and maybe a cough drop, which you have to sing. If you can't follow that level of fasting, then you take milk and or juice. If that's still too austere for you, then you take fruit. If that's still austere, and maybe milk sweets or something. If that's still too austere for you, then you can take nuts. And then there's other fasting foods. That's the last level of fasting. Okay, that's not fasting food, just so you know, but it's food for later. The milk sweets technically are. The fruit technically is. The nuts are. The potato chips technically are. There's certain fasting foods: potatoes, tubers, and carrots, and it's not really spinach, wild spinach called palak, but we use spinach in this country, and there's a few things like that that are part of the fasting food. So try to, whatever the particular holiday is and whatever its particular vows are, try to follow those to the best of your abilities, because then you will reap much greater rewards back for doing so. And you'll find on Shivaratri, the tradition is also that you stay up all night. There's a very long story associated with it, which I tell that story most of the time. I want to tell a different story this year. But the end story of the churning of the milk oceans is that, the hala gets released, the greatest of poisons that can destroy the entire universe, and Shiva, without even questioning, grabs the hala and drinks it, because everybody's freaked out, everyone, even the gods and demons, everybody runs, he grabs it without even a second thought and drinks it. But the Divine Mother comes and grabs him by the throat and stops the poison in his throat. Now, could Shiva have transmuted it? Probably, but it doesn't matter. He was willing to sacrifice, he was willing to give his life for the benefit of the universe. And that is who Shiva is. And that is what we're worshiping on Shivaratri. Not even just the king of yogis. He's the king of yogis because he's the most selfless of all yogis, and because he's constantly and completely and always steeped in sadhana. And what is the sadhana? There's two ways to approach the sadhana, really. And it says it also in the Bible. You take the path of Shiva, okay? Which means you close off the gates to your body, okay? You perform the bandhas. You lock the breath inside completely. You focus your mind in your third eye, your Agni chakra, and you withdraw your senses from the world. First you have a steady, you live a pure life, you perform the proper austerities and follow the rules, you sit on a firm asana, you still your breath, you withdraw your senses, you have a concept of what you're doing, you one-pointedly focus here, and you go deeply into samadhi, withdrawing completely from the world. That is the path of Shiva, which in the Bible it says, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me. No food god, no family god, no friend god, no work god, no anything else god, no vacation god, no anything, but absorbed in sadhana, completely in the self. That is the path of Shiva. The path of Shakti is the opposite of this. Also, just the flip side of this. Shakti embraces everything and everyone. Shakti looks to see a Shakta, someone following that path, looks to see the Divine Mother in every single piece of creation. Every little single thing wants to see the Divine Mother in it and offer the Divine Mother respect and worship. I like this path personally. The 72,000 nadis in the body, the Shakta has to separately identify each of those nadis and offer it respect. Love thy neighbor, love thy neighbor as thyself. That's the path of the Shakta. Love everything. Love everyone. Everything that comes, Namah Shivaya. Only see the good. Don't see anything else. And that's, how our Amma personifies for us. Even though she's fully absorbed in Shiva's bhav, for our benefit, she embraces everyone and everything, no matter how someone comes to her. In the history of all gurus in all worlds, no one has done like this, like Amma does. And she comes in the form of the mother, and she actually physically embraces us, which is, unheard of in India before this time. Shiva and Shakti. Shiva white, Shakti red, the red and the white. It has much deeper significance in tantric ritual, but now, how one chooses to practice in life, one can be a renunciate, a true renunciate, a brahmachari, a brahmacharini, and that path is, again, more to withdraw from the world, more to focus on your sadhana, not to get caught up in the worldly life, so to speak, not to have kids. Your kids are, if you become a Buddha, then you have disciples. That's your children. Or you take the path of the Grahasta and you are a householder and you may or may not have kids. And you stay in the world and hopefully you grow to do sadhana together. And Srila Ramakrishna Paramahansa says, instead of being out there in the middle of the field, like the Brahmachari or the Swami, you build a fort. Your marriage builds you a fort. And you only fight the fight on the front. So you're secure. That's in a real marriage, a good marriage. A marriage that you are together because you want to assist each other in spiritual life. And that marriage seems to be far in between in this world these days. If you're a renunciate, then you find your Shakti within. And your Shakti is, your preferred deity is your Shakti. Either way is fine. Either way you're going to wind up at the same place. So let's talk about Shiva and Shakti for a second, and we'll tell a piece of Shivaratri Katha. So the first incarnation of the Divine Mother that Shiva actually married, her name was Sati. She was known as Sati. And Sati was the daughter of Daksha. And I can keep going back and back and back to tell the story. I'm going to start it right there. So, Daksha wanted to hold the biggest of yajnas, the biggest of fire worship sacrifices. And for whatever his egotism, actually, it wasn't just his egotism, this goes back to a kind of a curse that was placed upon Daksha. He decided that he was not going to invite Sati's husband, Shiva, which is ridiculous to not invite Shiva and offer him worship at a yajna. How can your yajna be successful without the blessings of Mahadev? But Daksha was a very egotistical man. The site of this yajna is still there in Haridwar to this day. And he didn't. And then he actually started insulting Shiva right in front of Sati. Sati could not bear the sound of the insults about her husband and her Lord. So she jumped into the fire and passed. Okay? I don't know why her body didn't burn, but she jumped into the fire. Maybe it was just charred, and she left the body right there. They pulled her body out. Shiva came about a moment later. He saw Sati. He started getting very, very upset. And he started dancing the Tandava. Everyone was freaked out. They thought the entire universe was going to go into dissolution. Vishnu is the preserver of the universe. They prostrated before Vishnu, please Vishnu, save us. Shiva is going to destroy everything with his anger. In fact, he took on the form of the Rudra. And Vishnu said, okay. Vishnu took, Shiva had picked up Sakti's body and started carrying it, and he started getting more and more angry. And his anger started scorching the universe. So Vishnu realized that the more of Sakti's body that was touching Shiva, the angrier he would get. So he started chucking his Sudarshana chakra and chopping off her body piece by piece. And where each of these pieces fell in India is a place of Divine Mother Shakti worship, and it's a Shakti pit. Her energy is really felt there. Finally, when all of her body was chopped and disseminated, Shiva, calmed down, and the world wasn't destroyed, which is nice. But Shiva still had enough, and he went back to the cave. He wasn't looking for another wife, for sure, and he just got completely engrossed in samadhi, and he stayed in sadhana 100% of the time. Now, I always forget who this is, so I meant to look earlier. Some asura came. Does anyone remember who that was? That for the birth of Parvati? Anyway, a really terrible demon came, like they always do, and took over the entire heavenly realm. All of the gods were taken. This is actually one of my favorite parts of the Chandi. All their treasures were taken. Indra, the whole, Indra is the quote king of the gods, he was knocked out of heaven. Everybody was really distraught. So they all, again, as usual, go and pray to Vishnu. Like, Vishnu, what can we do? We're kicked out, our power's down, and this all happened because of actually this long curse that happened. And so they all came together, and Vishnu's like, you should all project your Shakti into one form. So the Shakti of each of them came out, even though truthfully Divine Mother was already there. This is kind of their own illusionary thing to think that they're absolute importance. The Shaktis came out and all formed into one being, and that's why you know the chant, the Adevi Sarvabhuteshu, this chant. This is what the gods sang when the Devi appeared. So, and the Devi, she took a vow that she would only marry the person that could defeat her in battle. She already knew that she was Shiva. She was already Shiva. This is the incarnation of the Divine Mother. So the only person that she ever marries is Shiva. And she was determined to do that. So I'll just read you one little part of she says, so that Asura, Shumba and Nishumba sent their ambassador to go talk to the Devi. Actually, this isn't really part of Shivaratri Katha, but it's really nice because this year I want to do Shiva and Shakti. So this ambassador said, O goddess, the king of thought, self-conceit, is the lord of the three worlds. I have been sent as his ambassador to come to you. All of the gods have been defeated by him and obey his commands. No one can violate his order. Listen to the message he sends to you. The entire three worlds are under my authority. And all the gods obey my every command. I personally enjoy the share of every sacrifice. All the finest jewels in the three worlds are under my authority, and I have taken the jewel of the elephants and the carrier of the gods, the wool of the pure. The jewel of horses, the horse of wisdom, which was produced from the beginning of creation. The gods are surrendered at my feet. O beautiful one, beyond that, as many beautiful jewels that belong to the gods, or to the heavenly beings, or to the swiftly proceeding, they all shine with me. O goddess, we consider you to be the jewel of all women in the creation, and therefore you come to us because we are the enjoyer of jewels. You have in constant gaze, come and serve me in my extremely valiant brother, self-deprecation, because you are the very essence of jewels. By fulfilling my wish, you will achieve all great glory. Now use your intelligence to decide if you want to be my wife. So, being the egotistical men that they were, not only did he want to take her for his wife, but they wanted to have the brother share the wife as well, which is ridiculous. I'm not very nice. So, Devi's like, then the goddess, the excellent supreme empress, she who removes difficulties, thoughtfully, tranquilly, gently smiling, gave her reply. She already knows what she's capable of, the Devi knows. So she's like, all that you have said is true without a particle of falsehood. Self-conceit is the master of the three worlds, as equally the value of self-deprecation. And she has to have fun with this, you know. She already knows she's going to kick ass on this battlefield. There's no really question about it. But so she has to enjoy herself and have it be entertaining, because why not be entertained? But in this matter, because of my small intelligence, I have already undertaken an oath to which I cannot be untrue. Please listen. Whoever will defeat me in battle, whoever will lose his self-conceit in me, whoever will see all the force of the universe in me, he will be my husband. So you return to self-conceit and self-deprecation, great thoughts. When they conquer me, I will marry. What is the necessity of delay? Bring it on, baby. So, but you know, that line is, whoever will defeat me in battle, whoever will lose his self-conceit in me, whoever will see all the force of the universe in me, he will be my husband. So, you know, what does that really mean? You know, that means if we just surrender to the Divine Mother, you know, she takes us as her Lord, and we receive everything. So then, of course, self-conceit and self-deprecation were pretty pissed at hearing this tale. Like, Goddess, your pride is very great to speak like that to me. In the three worlds, there is not a man who can stand against self-conceit and self-deprecation. This is the ambassador talking again. Goddess, all the gods cannot challenge the thoughts in battle. What merit have you, as you are alone and a woman? If the rule of the pure and all the other gods cannot stand up to self-conceit in battle, how will you, a woman, go forth to battle? This is where they got the part in Lord of the Rings from. Just so you know. Therefore, go to self-conceit and self-deprecation, because of what I have said. In this way, you will protect your dignity. Otherwise, when you are grabbed by the hair and dragged, you will lose your honor. Right? So just grab her by the hair and drag her over to his master. And she's like, oh, what you say is correct. Self-conceit is very strong, and self-deprecation is a true value in a warrior. What can I do? Without thinking, I made this promise. So now, you go, and just as I told you, explain to the king of thought, and then let him do what he thinks is proper. So, after listening to the words of the goddess, the ambassador became very angry, and returning to the king of thought, he gave a detailed explanation. Hearing the report, the king of thought became very indignant, and in great anger, he called a thought named Sinful Eyes. Dumra Lochana. Lochana is eyes. Dumra is. I would translate this word as anyone who looks at a woman as other than the goddess. Okay? Anyone that looks as a woman as an object of their desire and lust, they are Dumra Lochana. That is the meaning, because women should not be looked at like that. And it's only to our negative effect to look at women like that. Women are the goddess, and they should be praised and honored and respected and bowed down to like the goddess. Not that we'll ever understand them, but that's why we bow down to them. So, sorry. Hey, Sinful Eyes, go quickly, take your arm, and grabbing that naughty one by the hair, drag her here. And if anyone stands up to defend her, be he God, semi-divine, or celestial being, certainly you will kill him. And receiving this command from self-conceit, Sinful Eyes, along with an army of 60,000 thoughts, immediately proceeded. And arriving there, he saw the goddess seated upon the Himalayas, and divinely shouting, enemy, go to self-conceit, self-deprecation. If you won't lovingly go to the side of my master right now, then I will grab you by the hair and forcefully drag you there. And the goddess says, you have been sent by the king of thought, and you yourself are extremely mighty. Along with you is a great army. In this condition, if you take me by force, then what can I do? After the goddess answered thus, that thought, Sinful Eyes, attacked, and with the pronunciation of the mantra, Hum, the mother of the universe reduced him to ashes. One syllable. Not breaking the sweat. And that is the power of the goddess. And that's why you best not look at women in any manner other than pure respect, because one day that home will come for you. The home will come for the him that doesn't look at the goddess properly. So this Devi, this Devi, who later is known as Parvati because she is the daughter of the Himalaya. Actually, that kind of translates to another tale, doesn't it? There was the only one that could defeat Yasoda that came later was the son. It was prophesied that only because this Yasoda took a certain. He had worshipped Shiva actually and received a boon that he could only be killed by the son. I think it was by the son of Shiva. And of course, Shiva was a renunciate, so there wasn't really any worry there for this. So they're always asking for some boon to live forever. But they can't get the boon to live forever, so they have to bring up some condition that to them is the next best thing. And this comes up in so many stories. Because the truth is, you can never really specify enough. In the end, God's always going to outsmart you. You'll never be able to ask for enough. But for sure, he thought that was a safe bet. So everyone prayed for the goddess to reincarnate. The goddess reincarnated in the home of Himalayan Parvat and say this wrong. Meena. Anyone know Himalayan Parvat's wife? I think it's Meena, right? Meena or Hina? Any Indian person here now? Meena, right?
Yeah.
Ah. So, because she incarnated in Himalaya Parvat's home, she became known as Parvati. And because she relieves all difficulties, she became known as Durga, and she became known as many other names. And, but Shiva was really, remember, he was still really distraught at Sati's leaving and was still posed in meditation and could not be disturbed by anything. So Parvati decided that the only way that she could reach Shiva is to also engage in incredible austerity. And she took a trishul and she stood on one foot on top of the trishul with one leg raised. This is during a very earlier age when such things were possible. And went deeply, deeply into samadhi. You know, because it wasn't by putting on a bunch of makeup and putting on a bunch of jewelry and nice clothes that she hoped to attract Shiva's attention, but to attract the spiritual man's attention, you have to do that through being a sadhaka yourself. And by going deep, because the spiritual man is only going to see a woman with his third eye. He's only going to see a woman as the goddess. So the more you can dive deep into your sadhana, then the more you are actually embodying the goddess as she is. And then you will be that, you will walk that way in the world instead of as most worldly people do. It's a very different Vogue magazine for this type of So she did that, and she stood there with such resolve, it said, for, let's say, 1,008 years. And finally, Shiva came out and noticed her. Finally, her state of consciousness finally touched his state of consciousness. And he was like, who's that? I've been sitting here for a couple thousand years, and I haven't really felt or seen anything. And what is this that's attracting my gaze? And he saw Parvati, and of course, instantly, all he saw was the goddess and the reincarnation of his former partner. And he came to Parvati, and he brought her out of meditation and bowed down before her. And that's the story of Shiva and Shakti. Okay, enough talking. So I would say one last thing is that the vrat for Shivaratri is to stay up the whole night, to not go to sleep. Because also it said when that poison entered Shiva's body, like I was telling you earlier, when the poison entered Shiva's body, even though it stopped here, it still caused some distress in the body. So they sang and they danced and they told stories to keep Shiva awake the whole night so he wouldn't pass out and maybe pass on. And that's the tradition of Shivaratri. So you stay up all night, you don't sleep, like I said, you fast according to your abilities, and you offer in each quarter of the night a different Abhishek to Shiva that symbolizes various things that I'm not gonna get into this year because I've talked enough. And you sing, you stay steeped in bhajan and other chanting the entire night, and that's what we do. So now we will move into the next portion, which is we will do the 1,000 names of Shiva, which is a little longer than these 108 ones we've done. So you're going to get a little taste of austerity, a little taste of tapasya. It's actually not really that much tapasya. It feels very nectarous. I don't know. I don't really put it tapasya except for my voice. And then from the response mantra of that, we'll turn that into a bhajan. And then once we start the bhajans, we don't break. We don't, if you want to talk, you talk quietly among yourself, preferably outside, but there won't be talking in between the bhajan. When we're switching singers or switching bhajan, we just chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. That way we stay focused. Way back when I first started hosting these things, we didn't do this, and I found the energy would completely disperse between the bhajans. So then we came up with this idea to do this, and we keep the energy really focused. So, lock and load. This is your chance to take a sip of water. The response mantra this year, we'll do Om Hrim How Namah Shivaya. Can you switch it over to me, please, so that afterwards it's there? And then that one more high. Yes, that would be awesome.
But it won't actually record until you push the play. If you touch this one, it stops. So this now it's recording, and you see the recording treble, and it's running the numbers.
It's stopping because I looked at the SD.
Okay, there it goes. Now it's standby. This has to be on. And then you go record.
Once you start, I'm not going to turn it off. So.
Yeah, but you may want to turn it off between questions. I don't know.
No, I'll do it later.
Okay, because you can stop it this way now. Now it's, sorry. Now it's standby, but if you press this, it's done.
I got you.
You have to start over.
Got you. Let's see if the SD works. You know how big
Thinking a little less.
Let's actually take, before we do the 1,000 names of Shiva, let's do the second Abhishek since it's after 9 o'clock. And if you missed the first Abhishek, you can do the first Abhishek as well. Okay, so just give me 1 second. Maybe almost a little bit while I'm getting this together. Okay, yes. Hey, I'm going to get together with the second Abhishek. Why don't you just leave a bunch of this first? Okay? Yeah. That way we're just sitting and talking. And if you came late and you didn't get the blessings of Vibhuti and sacred thread, I'll give them to you. You're not running out the door in a second, right?
No.
Let me just get the Abhishek together, and I'll give you that blessing, okay? And we'll do a blessing for now.
Shiva,
Grab your bells, grab your conchas, time for the second Abhishek. Grab your drums, grab your bells. And we're over there in the this is what I one last thing I meant to say when we were talking was, I find that with each Abhishek, especially as the night goes on, they wait till people leave. So think about staying. At least manage yourself through the fourth Abhishek, and then if you don't want to stay the dawn, you've actually completed the ride. Future reference, Homakuns are not leak-proof. Now I know, not a good thing.